You were never supposed to leave. The road didn't exist on any map. That was the first thing I noticed. The second was that my phone stopped working the moment I crossed the old rusted sign that read, "Welcome home." I slowed the car instinctively, my headlights slicing through thick fog that clung to the forest like wet breath. Tall pine trees leaned inward on both sides of the road, their branches tangled like crooked fingers reaching for me. I hadn't planned to come back. Not after that night. Not after what I left behind. Yet here I was, driving straight into a place that felt like it remembered me, far too well. My name is Evelyn Carter, and this town was never supposed to let me leave. I left Raven Hollow when I was 17. People don't usually leave Raven Hollow. They disappear, or they stay long enough to forget who they were before the town decided who they should be. My mother used to say, "This place doesn't need fences. It knows where you belonged." Back then, I thought she was just afraid. Now, as the fog thickened and the trees whispered in a language I almost understood, I realized she was warning me. The radio crackled suddenly, static, then breathing. I reached to turn it off when a voice slipped through the noise. "You weren't supposed to leave." My hands froze on the steering wheel. The voice sounded familiar, too familiar. "Hello?" I whispered, hating how small my voice felt. The radio died. Silence returned, but not the peaceful kind. This silence watched. The town appeared without warning. One moment I was surrounded by forest. The next, Raven Hollow stood before me, as if it had been waiting. Old Victorian houses lined the road, their paint peeling, windows glowing faint yellow despite the late hour. Curtains twitched as I passed. Someone was watching. No, many someones. The clock tower at the center of town still stood crooked, its hands frozen at 11:11. They were always frozen at 11:11. I remembered that. My chest tightened. I parked outside the old inn, the Hollow Rest, the only place visitors ever stayed. The engine cut off on its own. That should have scared me. What scared me more was the feeling of relief, like I had finally done what was expected of me. The door creaked open before I touched it. Warm light spilled out. "You came back," said a woman behind the counter. She smiled. I knew that smile. "Mrs. Holloway," I said slowly, "you haven't changed." Her eyes flickered. "No," she replied, "neither have you." The room smelled like dust and old perfume. Exactly the same. The same floral wallpaper, the same cracked mirror, the same bed that always felt like someone had just stood up from it. I sat down slowly. That's when I noticed the notebook on the bedside table. Black cover. My name carved into it. I opened it with trembling fingers. The first page read, "She came back." I flipped the pages faster. The handwriting was mine, but I had never written this. She keeps asking questions. The town doesn't like questions. She's remembering again. That's dangerous. My breath caught. The final entry was dated today. If she tries to leave again, we won't let her. The door behind me shut. I spun around. A man stood there. Tall, pale, familiar. "Hello, Evelyn," he said softly. My heart sank. "Lucas." My brother smiled. "I watched him die 12 years ago." "You look surprised," Lucas said, tilting his head. "You were always dramatic." "You're dead," I whispered. "I buried you." He laughed. The sound echoed wrong. "No," he said. "You left. There's a difference." The lights flickered. The mirror cracked. And suddenly memories flooded back. Things I had forced myself to forget. The chanting, the night the town gathered, the blood on my hands. Lucas stepped closer. "You broke the rule," he said. You escaped before the town finished with you." "I was a child," I cried. "You were chosen," he corrected. "And now, you're back." Something moved beneath the floor. Slow, heavy, breathing. Lucas leaned in and whispered the words that shattered me completely. "You were never supposed to leave." The walls began to pulse, and somewhere, deep beneath Raven Hollow, something woke up. I didn't scream when Lucas stood in front of me. I should have, but Raven Hollow had already started peeling fear out of me layer by layer, replacing it with something colder. "You're not real," I said, backing away. "You died. I saw it." Lucas smiled wider. "That's the problem, Evelyn. You only remembered what the town allowed you to remember." The floor beneath us creaked. No, it breathed. Morning came without sunlight. The sky outside my window was a dull gray, like ash smeared across the horizon. The clock tower still showed 11:11. It would always do. I stepped outside the inn. The town was awake. People moved through the streets, silent. Their faces were calm, empty, familiar. Too familiar. They all stopped when they saw me. Every head turned. Every eye followed. A woman stepped forward. My mother. She looked exactly as she had the night she died. Hair tied back, hands stained with dirt and something darker. "Welcome home," she said gently. I felt sick. "You're dead," I whispered. She touched my cheek. "We don't die here," she said. "We stay." They led me to the church beneath the hill. I didn't remember it, but my feet did. Stone steps spiraled downward into darkness. The air grew thick with incense and decay. Candles lined the walls, flickering like nervous eyes. In the center of the chamber stood a circle carved into the floor, filled with symbols and dried blood. "This is where you left us," my mother said. Images rushed back. The chanting, the screaming, the thing beneath the town. I staggered. "What is this place?" I asked. Lucas stepped into the circle. "This is where Raven Hollow feeds." Raven Hollow was built on something ancient, something that fell from the sky long before the town had a name. It whispered, promised safety, protection, immortality. In return, it demanded memory, identity, and those who tried to leave. Children born here were marked. Some became caretakers, some became offerings, and once every generation, one became the anchor, the one who held the town together. My stomach twisted. "No," I said, "that's not me." My mother lowered her gaze. "You were chosen the night Lucas died." Lucas hadn't been killed by an accident. I remembered now. The ritual went wrong. The thing beneath the town demanded 2 souls instead of 1. I was supposed to stay. Lucas pushed me out of the circle, saved me, and took my place. That was why I could leave, because I broke the balance. The town never forgave me. "You escaped," Lucas said softly. "So the town unraveled. The walls trembled. You came back to fix it." "No," I whispered. "I came back because you called me." Lucas shook his head. The town did. The ground split open. The thing beneath the town stirred. Vast, formless, made of faces that had forgotten their names. It spoke inside my skull. "Come home." I felt myself slipping, memories dissolving, my name fading. I screamed and ran. The streets twisted like flesh. Doors sealed. Windows watched. The town chased without moving. I reached the edge of Raven Hollow. DeForest waited. I stepped forward. Pain burned through my feet. Invisible chains wrapped around my chest. "You can't," my mother's voice echoed. "You are bound now." "No," I cried. I already paid. The thing rose beneath the town. Not fully. Enough. You left me. I was a child, I sobbed. You were mine. Lucas appeared beside me, not smiling now. Someone has to stay, he said quietly. If you leave again, Raven Hollow will follow you. Images flashed, cities collapsing, people vanishing, the town spreading like an infection. You're the anchor, he continued, or the world becomes the town. Tears streamed down my face. I don't want this. I know, he said. Neither did I. The ritual circle formed beneath my feet. The symbols glowed. The town leaned inward, waiting.